Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clutch Entertainment today. And today we're going to be talking about how to deal with your brothers and sisters or siblings. A lot of different people, over the years, have had siblings. Obviously, some people are only children. Some people are, in big families, like with 5+ kids. There's some people who only have two or three. I'm going to discuss some of the differences with that, and I'm also going to discuss like some different things that you may experience in those different areas. Me personally, I'm the oldest of 8 children, so I have a lot of experience with my brothers and sisters over the years. My youngest sister, she's in her teen years right now. So when I was born, I was like 17, or when she was born, I was 17. But it's a pretty big age gap, and I've had a lot of experiences seeing my brothers and sisters born and all the age groups over the years. So I'm going to go into these things, and we're going to discuss them, and let's get right into it. So first off, being the oldest of 8, I'll talk about being in a big family. So being in a big family, like growing up, it was like always a moment where like you're always with your family, always spending time with them, not really doing a ton of things. Like we didn't have as much money, I would say, like my parents didn't. So we couldn't do as much, but we were always together. And I feel like that's a really important aspect of, growing up and family life, is because you can spend time with another and be with others. And I feel like that's, a very pivotal part as growing up. So some of the things that, when my parents were gone, or when we were acting up or something, we would, sometimes wrestle or just argue or something like that. So a lot of the things that probably affected me won't like necessarily be the same as other people, because there was 5 boys first and then 3 girls in our family. So it made a huge difference in like how we behaved and how we were different. Guys are more so of like, I want to be competitive with my brother. I want to beat my brother. So being the oldest, like I was looked up to a little bit, but I was also the guinea pig. So it even holds true today. Like whenever I, do or say something, like everyone's always looking at me and saying, "Oh, that's what Philip does." Like I don't know if I want to do that or I do want to do that. So I'm kind of like under a microscope being the oldest, and I'll get into like age differences like that. But being in a big family, like we were all close, we were always together on holidays, we were always together like every day basically. And whenever something bothered us or something that we did, like we always did it together. And that togetherness like really gave us like, close bond with each other. And we all still like, give each other trouble, because that's what brothers do. And then as far as like my sisters came along like not until I think my first sister was born when I was 12, 11 or 12. So like I got to see like, I remember a lot of that when she was born and such, and how the behavior kind of like changed a little bit, because like girls are a little more sensitive. So I remember I would annoy my sister, and I would, she'd be like screaming instead of like trying to fight me back. That was kind of interesting. And then like, she was more of like, my sisters were more like gentle, I would say. Like they're not, they talk more, and they get more attention paid to them. So it's easier for them, like, build conversation skills and such. Especially because we were all 5 boys. So like they are really comfortable with like talking to like guys nowadays, I would say too, because like having 5 brothers that are older makes a big difference. But as far as like my younger sisters, like I feel like since it was 5 boys and 3 girls, a lot of my sisters were like they get more attention, and then basically they relied more on us to do certain things for them and help them out. So having that perspective of like boys to girls ratio, and how it like brought me as the oldest, into this picture, and how I worked with my sisters with things and helped them out, or with my brothers working with them and helping them out, or how we teased them or how we joked around with them. I would say like the big thing is like being in a big family, and having 5 boys and 3 girls. It was always like never a dull moment for sure. And like I remember there was a couple times where like me and my brothers would play like I made up a game called Dominique Hashik or whatever. And basically, I was playing soccer in my basement with my two brothers. And I had glasses on at the time. And I jumped up at the same time as my brother. And that's why I have this little scar here because the glasses went right into my eyebrow here and I had to get stitches. But stuff like that, we're making up little games and just having some fun. I mean, that wasn't fun getting the stitches and having fun with that, but there was a lot of times when me and my brothers did a ton of different things. Like another thing I can give you an example is we used to want to play video games late at night. So basically my dad would say, turn off the Wi-Fi, and we'd turn off the Wi-Fi, or like my dad would turn off the Wi-Fi, and then we'd wait for my dad to go to bed. And there was a couple times where we would like stay up really late and then we'd like play, and then like my dad would hear us and then we'd come downstairs, we'd turn it off super quick. Just stuff like that, like little stuff like we tried to get away with. And then also on top of that, we had just like other little things like certain events and such. Like when we did certain things, we reacted in certain ways, and we remember each other's, and then we like bring that up and say, oh, you did this, and it's kind of funny, like on certain birthdays and such like that. So giving each other trouble with that's pretty much the big thing with older family or older brothers and sisters, or big family in general. So I would say the next thing I would talk about is probably like, if you have like maybe 2 or 3 brothers or sisters, I would say the dynamic's a little different. Based on what I've talked to people about, I don't have personal experience just with like 2 or 3, but from what I've seen, like when you have 2 or 3, it's more so of like a closer knit. Like it's more so of like, you have more outside friends than family in general. Not to say big families don't have outside friends, because I definitely have outside friends. I just have like maybe, a handful of friends I can count on my hand. So, but like I would say like if you're in a smaller family, you have a little more friends. I would say like a little bit different would be probably not as much interaction as like a group, or when you get in a group, you're like either with friends or someone else. But overall, I would say like, being in like a mid-tier, like average family, like 2 or 3 kids, is probably like a lot more, I guess like not like overly close, but like kind of like in the middle. Like they're not like, your family's not always like, your family's always your best friends, like I'm saying, but like it's not as close as it is with a big family. Cause like you don't have to rely on stuff, and you have a little bit more money because kids cost money. So the parents can do more things with the children and have them experience more stuff. So, I mean, I think different behaviors would probably be different in like a 2 or 3 person family, because how you interact with people, like you don't have to interact with people as much too when you're in a smaller family. Because like when you're in a big family, you have to interact with everyone, because sometimes you get pushed aside because you're not paid attention to. Not as neglect, but it's just like, the parents got to focus on every single child. So I would say like basically when you're, in like a middle amount, like 2 or 3 kids, it's more so of like I would say you're kind of like balanced in that way, and where you somewhat have to rely on other people, but you somewhat like are with your parents because they can focus on you better and give you more attention. And then I would say like with an only child, that would probably be the most difficult family, because like you have to find all your friends like outside the family, and that's really difficult. That can be very tough on a kid, because they literally have to get to that point where they're like comfortable with meeting people and comfortable with doing things. The parents can allow them to do all kinds of stuff though, because they have more money overall, because having one kid, you don't have to do as much. But I would say like overall, like you don't have to deal with any conflicts though with the kid, but the kid may grow up more spoiled, which is another detriment to that kid, and like as being in a big family myself, like I was explaining before, you got to deal with like certain situations with brothers and sisters that if you're an only child, you don't deal with. So like, for example, if my brother steals something from me, I have to be taught in a big family, like, in the real world, if somebody steals something from you, not to overreact. You got to go to the appropriate people to talk about. So like when something happens to an only child, for example, and they don't know exactly like how to react, because say someone in public steals from them, how are they going to react? They might overreact. They might freak out or something like that. It's all about like how they're taught and how they're raised morally. I'm not saying an only child is not going to be able to react the right way. I'm just saying that basically, it could affect how they interact with people and how they, react in general. So I would say like, also different ages affects different like years of development. When you're more like, when you're younger, it's a lot easier to, associate with your family, a lot easier to build up that relationship and get closer. When you're an only child, but it's a lot harder because, it's just you and your parents, but your parents give you all the attention, of course. And there's nothing wrong with, your parents giving you attention. It's just sometimes that all that extra focus can give you, I guess, higher expectations and drive you to more, I guess, I don't know, what I've seen with only children, it's just like they don't know how to, socialize the right ways with other people. And I feel like that's a difficult thing of being an only child. Not to say that they can't learn, but it's just very difficult. As far as nowadays, though, like now that I'm an adult and I have brothers and sisters and some of them are moved out, the way I interact with them, it's a lot different than I used to be. It's more so of like, I would say it's more so of like, more of an equal, like when you're younger, it's more so of like, oh, you're younger than me, I know more than you. But like now it's more so of like, oh, like you know stuff, I know stuff, and we all have to like work together and figure stuff out. It's kind of like a more I don't know the word for it, but more like, I guess, more balanced in general. And you're able to, overall see them as an equal and see what they have to say and what they feel like with certain things. I feel like it's not as much of like, oh, this is secret, I don't want to tell you things. Like, it's more so of like, you got to get on that relationship level where you're like seeing them as an equal. If you think that you're better than them and look down upon them, then they're more likely to be like, I'm not going to talk to you about things. Like, so if you have that relationship like younger, it builds it up for when you're older, and that can also help you out. But when, for example, when your brothers or sisters, they end up like making a joke about you or goofing around, or you got to learn to adapt and take that joke. Some people struggle with that, and some people have like, I don't want to hear that from anybody, I don't want to deal with that from anybody, and then they get to that point where they get like very cold towards that. And a lot of times family, they try to get under your skin just because they're family. There's nothing wrong with getting under somebody's skin. I mean, I guess sometimes people try to take it too far with certain things. It depends on the subject, but a lot of times, like, if they're just getting under your skin for like saying a joke or something like that, you just gotta look at it and be like, look, they're joking. Okay, they're not trying to drive you crazy. They are trying to drive you crazy, but they're not trying to get you in a detriment where you're not wanting to talk to them ever again. It's just a joke and it's just for fun. So those are some things that, you have to deal with. And I would say, like, for the best advice as far as like dealing with brothers and sisters is, see them as an equal, bring them together if you can, and, meet up with them and have a relationship with them, and if you can do that, then you're going to have a good relationship with your brothers and sisters, because your brothers and sisters over the years, they're going to be, your best friends for life. Your parents someday are going to pass away, and you're not going to have anybody, but your, maybe your spouse or maybe your brothers and sisters, and they are always going to be the ones that are going to be there for you no matter what. And having that relationship with them and establishing that connection with them really can get you to where you need to be and help you to be successful overall in life. So thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment today. I hope you got something out of how to function with brothers and sisters and some of the aspects I explained with brothers and sisters. So hopefully that you got something out of it, like I said. And if you can like, subscribe, that'd be great. If you have any additional comments, just leave it in the comment section below. And thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment today, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.